Pecha Kucha 216, I have a plan. So I'm going to do something next week that this week's kind of led me into. Hopefully you'll understand what I'm thinking by the end of this, but it's all still very much to happen. So let's get into it. So I started this week kind of copying from a random Wonder Woman comic I had. To improve across the board specific things, the composition of a page, image composition per panel, to just put some time in actually just doing observational drawing as well. My favorite thing about copying art is, or rendering it, is when you take the first layer, you blue screen it up, and then you kind of start drawing on top of it. I always love the way it looks aesthetically, because it always looks better than it does when I turn off the underlayer and I'm just left with the ink lines. And what I found while I was doing this is this is maybe about 2 hours work, because it's a lot of going back and forth to the original art and making a lot of corrections, especially since it's probably not the same canvas size I'm using as page size. But I was trying to get to the bottom panel and it just took too long. And while I'm doing this, I'm listening to Aris playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, and it's more entertaining when he's trying to resolve technical issues than when he's playing the actual game, because the game's actually not that interesting. What I listen to while I work definitely has an impact on what I draw and how I feel about it. That's something I haven't really come to terms with since I got my new PC. But we'll have to figure that out on a sit-down by sit-down basis. So the second time I came back to my Wonder Woman comic, I was just drawing headshots, because it's a more concentrated way to try and level up, so to speak, when it comes to faces. I feel like I have all the knowledge in my head, but I've never sealed the deal in terms of applying it. So looking at the way that comic book artists kind of simplify broad forms and vary angles very frequently, hopefully will help me do the same thing. Because a lot of these images, there's not that much detail there, but the details are in the right place. You don't have to overcomplicate it by, drawing the nose every time. When you get the shadows in the right place. Jim Lee famously talks about, you don't draw the thing, you draw the shadows of the thing, and that is definitely the way to draw teeth. Not that I know how to draw teeth or anything. So all the headshots I was doing kind of on a blown up page, so they all fit on one canvas, and it does make me feel like I did less work than it looks like. I also actually referenced a real photograph, did a little bit of airbrushing, but didn't really commit to it, which is what that bottom right one was. I decided to take all that I quote-unquote learned and then just draw Wonder Woman without reference, just another headshot. I definitely learned a lot more about how to draw that kind of head bangle thing she's got going on than anything else, but I feel like it's not bad. So it's, and then I kind of smoothed out the lines, airbrushed it a little bit, added color, nothing overly complicated. And then I kind of just walked away and felt a little bit like, what have I actually accomplished here? Because, a small string of headshots isn't really akin to, something I can post on Tumblr. I mean, I could. This was also the week where I applied for Universal Credit and got rejected. So for the first time in my life, I'm completely off the grid. I have no job. I have no income. There's no one to tell me to do anything I don't want to do. So now is surely the perfect time to commit to doing what I think I ought to do with my life. And I still feel like the Smarty Show is a large part of that, because it's a way in which I can make people laugh, and I don't have to bother with creating a brand new cast of characters, because that doesn't really work until people are prepared to give you, as the creator, the time of day. And besides, I want to make Akuma jokes and Vegeta jokes, so it's win-win. I also, coincidentally this week, was rediscovering some of my favorite YouTube animators. Ethereal Snake is a guy that has excellent audio design combined with low-budget 2D animation. He's moved into 3D animation since getting Patreon support. Explosie is another guy that uses mixed media to great effect. Excellent sound design, maybe a bit more heavier on the memes, as Thomas the Tank Engine can't be used unironically. Excellent stuff that no matter what the quality is, it always feels like it's high quality because it's very entertaining. Ethereal Snake did a video on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which it's 2 minutes of more emotionally moving content than all 10 Star Wars movies put together, because it's a story where there is no dialogue. It's just stuff happening, and it's powerful on a primal level, although the artwork isn't particularly strong. Umami is another guy I love for making weird, surreal stuff. You can clearly see the background between the character here, the Burger King guy, who is in jail having committed a crime, and now he dies in jail. It's so sad, but it's so beautiful. It's great. That's one of the predominant themes of all of this stuff. It's very emotionally moving, even though it's like the art style isn't strong. The audio is typically very strong, and it made me think, is there a way I can leverage that into a Smiley Show production where effectively I do less work, but it comes off as more interactive, more enjoyable for the viewer. Like Umami's first animation practically isn't animation at all. It uses so many shortcuts. And taking a still of it doesn't do it any favors. I highly recommend you look at all of these guys. I'm not leaving links in the description. That's work. I've gone to some websites to get some assets of my own. I'm going to rip whatever else I need off of YouTube. And what I expect to do by this time next week is, you'll probably see it on YouTube, I'm going to make a Smiley Show proof of concept animation without animation. I've scripted it and I've tested it, and I'm going to go into all the programs I need to try and make it work. I think it can work. It's just where I choose to draw the line in the sand about my personal art quality. I will talk about this in depth next week, so I'll see you there. That's the end of Pecha Kucha 216.